Have you ever imagined living in a country where you pay no taxes and spend 70% less than you would in the US or England, all with a good quality of life? In our two previous videos, we talked about the interesting tax and visa schemes for retirees and remote workers in Europe and in Asia. In places like Portugal or Malaysia, expat retirees and digital nomads pay no income taxes. But these are not the only continents where you can find good visa schemes for non-working expatriates. Latin America also has very solid and financially interesting opportunities. And if you're worried about violence, here is some good news. Not every place in Latin America is violent like Tijuana or Caracas. In fact, some cities have European levels of safety. So time to start. If there is any destination you would like to know more about, please tell us in the comment section. Today we start with Argentina. Less than 15 years ago, the Argentinian visa program for rentistas y pensionados had one of the strictest requirements in the world in terms of minimum income. But since then, the Argentinian peso has suffered one of the most drastic devaluations in recent history, and now it requires less than $200 per month. The country has its challenges, but also pros, and we have an entire episode explaining why Argentina is one of the best retirement destinations in the continent. Check our videos to watch it. The minimum income required is 30,000 Argentinian pesos, and that means only $164. Belize's Qualified Retirement Program, QRP. Belize is a small country in Central America that has a very peculiar characteristic. It's the only country in the region colonized by the British, and therefore the only one with English as its official language. But the absence of language barriers is not the only advantage they offer. Other pros from Belize are the very low cost of living when compared to the US, and tax exemptions on income from overseas for any retiree that lives there more than 183 days per year. The government and the Belize Tourist Board also made a retirement visa program that is easy to apply for and beneficial for people that want to move there. The minimum income required is at least $2,000 per month, or equivalent in a foreign currency approved by the government of Belize, generated outside the country. And the next country is Brazil. However, before we talk about it, I would like to ask a small favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. So, Brazil Vitem 14. Brazil has a myriad of migrant temporary visa types, all called visto temporário. Authorities named each one of them Vitem, the first syllables of visto temporário, and the corresponding number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. The one that is useful for anyone willing to retire in Brazil is the Vitem 14. It's the same visa used by digital nomads. As a Brazilian myself, I must say that Brazil is a huge country, with safe and dangerous areas, and a quite complicated tax system. Temporary residents do not need to pay taxes on their income from abroad, but if they turn and become tax residents, meaning permanent residents, they are taxed. It's highly recommended that you hire a local lawyer to solve all the legal intricacies if you are planning to move to Brazil. The minimum income required is at least $1,500 per month, or bank statements showing at least $18,000 available in the account. Colombia's Special Temporary Pensioners Visa. Colombia has a very low cost of living, even when compared to other South American countries like Chile or Brazil. In fact, in one of our episodes, we listed the cheapest cities to live in South America, and Colombia almost had half of the best ranked. Put this advantage together with a diverse landscape with multiple climates, warm beaches, mild temperatures, mountains, a decent and inexpensive private healthcare system, good connectivity to the US and Europe via airlines like Avianca and Iberia, and you will understand why more and more people are choosing this country for retirement. To attract foreign retirees, the government developed a program called the Special Temporary Pensioners Visa. The applicant must prove that he or she received a pension equivalent to at least 3 times the minimum salary in Colombia. The Costa Rican Temporary Residence Visas. Costa Rica is often listed with Panama as an exception among the Central American countries due to their decent standards of living, good safety indicators, and infrastructure. It's no surprise that both countries are also favorites of American retirees. There is a large number of US expatriates both in Panama and Costa Rica, since they are not far away and have a relatively low cost of living. The local government, willing to lead among the favorite destinations in Latin America for expatriates, established the Pensionado Visa. For this visa, applicants must have a monthly income of at least $1,000. But Costa Rica is not the only country to have a Pensionado Visa. The Dominican Republic also has a similar program. The Dominican Republic is the good part of Hispaniola Island. The other part is Haiti. It's an increasingly popular destination for foreign retirees, and the low requirements are one of the perks for anyone considering this popular Caribbean island. There are, however, considerations regarding safety in some parts of the country. The income requirement is $1,500 per month per person or $1,750 for couples. The Mexican Temporary and Permanent Residency Program for Retirees. It's not only the proximity that attracts Americans to Mexico, although this is an important factor, since it makes it easier for expatriates to travel back and forth to visit friends and family. Other significant advantages of Mexico are the low cost of living, the good private healthcare available at prices way lower than in the US, and one of the least complex retirement visas in Latin America. It's true that there are many violent cities in Mexico, but by choosing carefully, it's also possible to find multiple peaceful and enjoyable places. To apply for a retirement visa in Mexico, all you need is a passport with at least 6 months of validity, gather the required personal documents, prove an income of $1,400 monthly, and that's it. Nicaragua Pensionado Visa. While not receiving the same amount of media attention as Costa Rica and Panama, Nicaragua recently experienced a surge in the number of interested US retirees. There are some fine tax advantages, and they are really attractive if you are looking to purchase a nice property. The minimum income required for the Pensionado Visa in Nicaragua is $1,000 per month. Panama Residence Visa Programs. Together with Costa Rica, this is one of the most attractive countries with retirement visas in Latin America. They also have a retiree-specific visa scheme to ease the way to obtain residency status, as long as you receive monthly income from overseas. The minimum income required is $1,000 per month, or a deposit of $170,000 for a 5-year fixed term in a local bank account. Peru's Rentista Visa. Peru is one of the least expensive countries in South America, despite having a quality of life and HDI superior to places like Colombia or Brazil. According to Omio, the cost of living in Lima, Peru's capital city, is 54% lower than in New York City. Housing costs are particularly affordable, with a 1-bedroom apartment in Lima costing around $370 per month. You must prove a stable passive income from rental properties, for example, or a pension from abroad of at least $1,000 per month. The Uruguayan Permanent Residence Visa Program. In Latin America, Montevideo may be the closest to a European city without the European prices. Uruguay is also one of the safest and most stable countries in all of South America. The property market in the region is also attractive, something that Argentinians and Brazilians looking for a safer place to their investments have already realized. There are some disadvantages. One is that due to the small population, there are not many international flights departing from Uruguay, so to travel to the US or Europe is often a long journey with stopovers. The minimum income required is also on the higher side, at least $1,500 per month, or $100,000 to be invested in the Banco de la República Oriental del Uruguay. So, between Argentina, Belize, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, and Uruguay, which country do you prefer? Let us know in the comments section. If you still didn't watch our 2 previous episodes about favorable visa schemes in Europe and Asia, check them out. Your next dream destination may be waiting for you. And remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications by clicking on the bell icon to stay tuned.